Hey guys! So, today I'm going to be talking about Spina Bifida. Oh, you can't hardly see me in this light. But, Spina Bifida is a congenital defect in which the spinal column is imperfectly closed so that part of the meninges or spinal cord protrudes, often resulting in hydrocephalus or water on the brain, and other neurological disorders. Now, if you want to know what that looks like, it kind of looks like similar to, oh, you can't see here, this being, oh, where am I? The bulb over here, but now you can't see, being your defect, and this being your spinal cord. So, often what happens is it bursts and it leaves, and when it heals it leaves a scar. It can leave, when it closes down, it leaves a little scar that can be covered over. Often it's on the lower back, closer to your tailbone, and depending on where in that lower region it is, depends on paralysis, depends on what motor skills and different functions of your body it impairs. You can have problems going to the bathroom, you can have problems, you can be paralyzed. You could be able to walk and it be difficult with a lot of pain. You can have a crooked gait. It can also stunt growth in your legs and in your feet. And the way my spina bifida is I had a club foot, which looks like, ooh, I'm not very good at this. Looks like this, which they had to go and surgically straighten out. And then I had the rocker bottom foot, which was like this, which they also had to go in and straighten out. Now, when I was about 17 hours old, I had my very first surgery, and it was to get my myelomeningocele repaired. So that little bulb area on my back had to be repaired because the bubble had burst, and so it had to, the skin was kind of weakened, so they had to put a couple skin grafts on there. So they did that when I was about 17 hours old. At 1 week, I had a ventricular shunt put in, right in here, and it was to drain the hydrocephalus. The next procedures were on my feet for that club foot and that rocker bottom. They had to put the corrective cast on my feet to straighten them up. And after the castings, I underwent several series of heel cord lengthenings because my feet were tiny and do not grow on their own. By the time I was 8, I had to have a bladder augmentation. So my bladder was small, and it was causing problems, so they had to enlarge it. I also had to have a port called a mace put into my belly button, which I let close up because I'm an 8-year-old and I want to do what I want to do. So then they had to make a second belly button hole or port area so that I could go to the bathroom, and I self-cast, and I flushed my bowels out with water. When I was younger, I was prone to foot sores. I had sores about this big on the bottom of my little old feet. And so they would have to it would constantly get infected. Oh my goodness, the pain I would go through. But they would have to go through debridement surgeries to get all that bacteria and all that infection out. I mean, there were so many different kinds of surgeries I went through. I mean, there was packing it and all sorts of things. So I went through several of those when I was younger. And then with that wound came, I said infections, but there were staph infections. So my ankle was swollen, it was red, and I had to be hospitalized constantly. I have had about 2 normal surgeries. I've had my tonsils taken out, and I had my wisdom teeth removed because they were sideways in my mouth. My most recent surgery, well, I have had 2 up to then. One of my most recent surgeries had been, they took a wedge out of my ankle. My foot was tilted down kind of like this, and so it needed to be brought up to normal. So it was kind of tilted like that, so it needed to be brought up to a 90-degree angle. So they had to take a wedge out of my ankle, because my ankle had fused from all the corrective surgeries I've had on my foot. So they cut that, they took that wedge out, and they lifted it up, and that caused, now I have a 90-degree angle foot, and that's on my left foot. Another surgery I had on my left foot is I had my pinky toe removed. We found out that my pinky toe didn't have any bone in the middle of it, and it was not connected to my foot. So it's basically a slab of skin with a toenail on it. So the doctor went in, and he numbed my foot, and he took it off. So with all those surgeries, I've had 27 surgeries. And I am only 22. So when they fused my ankle, they put metal pins on the inside of my ankle, and going through all of this and walking and trying to be a normal person, I've gotten teased, I've gotten laughed at, I've gotten, I've been bullied. I've been bullied my entire life, and it used to affect me more, but now I've kind of just, like, my senior year of high school, I was teased for being a speed demon in my electric wheelchair. So what I did was I flipped them the bird and said, forget you, and I did what I wanted to do. I did not care what they said, because you know what, at least they were respectful enough to say it to my face. If you're not respectful enough to say it to my face, then you sure as heck should not be saying it behind my back. Because I'd love to hear what you have to say about me. Come on, tell me something I don't know about myself. Seriously. Go ahead. Call me all sorts of names, call me crippled, call me anything. But you know what? I am who God made me, and that's who I'm gonna be. So if you don't like who I am, you don't have to be my friend. But I guarantee if you got to know me and knew my story, you would see what kind of nice person I am and what a great friend I am. Any of my friends will tell you what a great friend I am, how supportive and caring, and how I pack a punch. I'm like a little, cobra. The smaller they are, the more venomous they are. But as they grow, the less venomous they become, and their poison isn't as effective. Yeah, it's effective, but it's not as effective. So I can pack a punch. I have so many friends. At my church, I have friends outside of church. I've got friends who have Spina Bifida. I have friends who've got cerebral palsy. I've got friends that are regular people. I have so many friends that love and care about me that all the haters are outnumbered. You know that? So I love my friends. They don't see me as a girl with spina bifida. They see me as a regular person, and they see me as just a friend. And I truly appreciate them. I am engaged. I took my ring off because it was tied on my hand. But I'm engaged. I'm getting married in July of next year. I am engaged to a wonderful man that I have been with for 5 years. And he looks past all my flaws. The only flaws he points out is I can be a bitch. Like, I am rude, I'm mean, I can be pissed off, and I can have the biggest attitude. And yes, that's my biggest flaw, you know, is I can have an attitude. But with the bullying and the hardening, it has been an overcompensation. So I am just used to having to be tough and tighten up every time I feel offended. So that's my natural reflex, and that's just the way I have been built. He tries to look past it, but sometimes he can't. And I understand that. And you know, I am working on myself. I am working on my attitude. I am working on trying not to lash out at him as much when I'm pissed off and just try to vocalize it. It's very difficult, trust me. Once you've built up that exterior, it is very difficult to excuse me. It is very, very hard to get rid of that exterior. I mean, you have to dig to get rid of it. But you know what? He has loved me for 5 years, and he popped the question to me, so he wants to take it further, and he's willing to forgive the growth and the occasional setbacks from growing, as long as I'm still growing, you know? And you can't not grow. You know, you have to keep growing, and you have to keep being a strong person, but also have a sensitive side, you know? You can't be all huff and gruff 24/7. You have to have that sympathy and that comfort, because he needs it too, you know? He needs the sensitive side. I'm not the only one that needs sympathy. I don't need your sympathy. You know, I mean, he's helpful, and he is so patient with me. Yeah, we have fights, and yes, I have gotten physical on him several times, but that was the only way I knew to lash out. But now, I'm learning to not be physical and not be so yelling, and I'm learning to keep my temper down enough to explain why I'm upset. And that has helped us grow more in our relationship, and I truly appreciate him for that, for sticking with me through all this. He's been in several of my videos. He's such a sweet guy, and I am so grateful to be marrying him, because he is amazing. And, you know, he loves me through the spina bifida. He understands that things are difficult for me to do, and he helps me with those things, and he helps me get that emotion out when I'm feeling upset. And you know, it's reciprocal. I try. I'm not perfect. I'm no counselor or anything, but I try to be there for him as much as he is for me. But he is there way more, and I truly appreciate him for that. And he doesn't know the true appreciation, because I don't often show it. I'm one of those go big or go home kind of girls. Like, if there's a big opportunity for me to show him I love him, then I'm gonna do it. But day-to-day thank yous are hard for me. So, excuse me. But the point of all that is, it's not just about the spina bifida. Yeah, the science is there, and yeah, you're going through all these surgeries, but you know what? It's about the attitude. And you know, if you've got a blow it off kind of attitude, and you have the, like, if you just blow it off and you work your hardest, you can do anything you want to do. You can be the person you want to be. You know, there are several people out in the world who have Spina Bifida, but you can be whatever you want. Whether that's a singer, whether that's a rapper, whether that's any kind of accountant, whatever you want to do, go for it. Don't let anybody stop you. You know? So, this is my story, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'm not putting myself out there to get sympathy or anything. This is my testimony, and this is who I am in God. And God has made me a lot stronger through all of this than I would be without it. You know? And sometimes I feel like I'm a victim, and I hurt, and I cry, and I'm mean, and I'm bitchy, and I'm just not in a happy mood half the time. Man, most of that's because of pain, but deep down, I'm grateful that He put me on this earth to tell people about this, and to be there for the friends who are disabled, because they have someone, they need a voice, you know. Those who can't speak need the voice, you know. And that's who I am. I'm putting myself out there with my story, so that you, next time you see somebody, you go up to them and say, God loves you, have a great day, and I pray you're not in pain. Because it's not about not having a disability. And it's not about any of that. It's about how God can shine His life through them. And God has shown me that this is what I needed to do. And I needed to put myself out there for ridicule and hatred. Because you know what? Bring it on. I can block you guys' comments if it's rude. But if it's nice, and if this helps you get through any of this, then let me know. Like, let me know in the comments below how you felt. But this is me signing off. Hope you have a great day. And know that God loves you, and I love you,